This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.
It's always a good day here on the Extra Point podcast when we can talk to a Hall of Famer. And today's guest, no stranger for longtime NFL fans, the Bus, Jerome Bettis, who led the Steelers to the Super Bowl in his final season in black and gold in 2005. Overall, he went to 6 Pro Bowls and was enshrined in Canton, Ohio in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2015. But asthma nearly derailed his career before it even started. And now the Bus is telling his story with the company Aire, Serv and giving fans a chance to join him for the ultimate fantasy football party. Let's get an early fantasy football scouting report from the Bus, Jerome Bettis, who joins us on the Extra Point podcast.
Appreciate you joining us back on the Extra Point podcast for another segment here. The legend Jerome Bettis to talk football, to talk about health, and just to bring some sunshine to our day. So just first of all, tell us about Aire Serv and how that has impacted your life, and you hope it impacts the lives of other kids in America.
Well, a lot of people don't realize I'm asthmatic. I went out to play football when I was 14 years old, and fell out on the field. Didn't realize I was asthmatic, and the doctors explained to my mom and dad, as long as I managed my asthma, then that I could continue to play football and I'll be fine. Well, dealt with that. It was challenging my entire career, and then when I retired, I started to have kids, and at home, I realized that I was having some issues again in my home, and that's where Aire Serv, a neighborly company, comes in, because they were able to help me in my home. And then we said, you know what? Let's look at the air quality, not only in my home, but in everyone else's home. And let's talk about that, because they're one of the leading HVAC and indoor air quality service providers. So we need to try to provide this service for everyone so that they can test their air quality and then take the necessary steps to make sure they were fine. And then that has kind of led, and we pivoted to now we're having the Aire Serv Ultimate Fantasy Football Draft Party. It's going to be in Nashville, August the 10th. And in the register, all you have to do is go to aireserv.com/fantasy draft to win an opportunity to party with me for the draft. So it's been a great relationship, and it's kind of evolved and grown through the years, and it's been such a blessing, because it's all about the quality of air that you breathe, and it's important.
Who's your top pick in the draft?
That's a good one. Here's what you got to know. Jonathan Taylor obviously is always going to be on top of the list. I like Saquon Barkley. He's another one that's going to be on top of the list. King Henry is going to be there. So here's what you do. It just depends on where you're drafting, right? If you're in the top 3, it's going to be a running back, right? If you in the middle 3, I think that's where the true decision is, because do you take that quarterback who also runs and throws, or do you take the top receiver, right? So those are the questions that you got to deal with. If you're picking at the bottom of the draft, then you're trying to get the best available guy. You're probably not going to get the top of any of them, but you may get the third best guy. So it just depends on where you're drafting, and that's got to be your philosophy on how to draft.
Yeah, the running backs at the top. I see what you're doing there. As far as Kyler Murray,
always.
Hey, the Bus. You look at the career. I think I did draft you like top overall, top. Maybe it was number 3 one year, and I was really excited about that. That might have been with you with the Rams. That's going way back. And we were getting it on poster board. As far as Kyler Murray goes, how much faith would you put in maybe like a Kyler Marvin Harrison Jr. combo year one, the rookie trying to get on the same page with his new quarterback?
You know what? I put a lot of stock in that, because you got a quarterback who wants to desperately show that he's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. And so he's going to be highly motivated. Now you got a receiver that's already highly motivated because he's chasing his father's legacy, right? And so he's highly motivated. Now you got an organization that's growing and pushing, wanting to be the best versions of themselves. I like that combination and what it could possibly be.
All right, so we got two kind of smash mouth running backs here for the Cardinals. You've got James Conner and you got Trey Benson coming out of Florida State. Do these guys at all remind you of yourself?
I'm a big fan of James Conner. He's a personal friend. Love him to death. I just think he is as tough as they come, what he's had to deal with on the field and off the field. So he is, you know, I'm when you say James Conner, it's just like, I've been a fan of his since he was in college. And so to see what he's been able to do out in Arizona, I was just kind of applauding. So then to get Benson, the one for the kid from Florida State, now you got two thumpers, which allows you to play the 17-game schedule, right? And have the same intensity at the position. You know, the problem is it's hard to play that physical and get that many carries for 17 weeks. Now you can take some of the burden off. I think that creates a great opportunity for both of the running backs and for the offense, because now you're going to have a thumper in the backfield regardless of who's in the game. So I like what Arizona has done, and I like where they're headed in terms of wins and losses.
And when it comes to building a team that can compete for Super Bowls, and when you went to Pittsburgh, if memory serves, there was a little dip at first as they built it. There's a lot of rookies. There's a lot of young guys on this roster. How quickly can you build this thing, especially if there is a commitment overall to a power run game?
Right. It's about the commitment and the culture, right? If the culture is conducive to, hey, we're going to work our butts off, right? And then if the commitment is, hey, we're going to pound the football, we're going to run the football, and everything's going to come off of that, then you got play action pass. Now you're going down the field. Now you've got an offense, right, that can support your defense. Because if you just going 3 and out, your defense, no matter how good they are, they're not going to be successful, right? So you need a complementary offense to help your defense as well. So if you're pounding the football, you're taking the time off the clock, your defense doesn't have to go out on the field. They're healthier. They're fresher. They can come off the ball and be aggressive. So all those things kind of work together. And if they can do that, I don't think it's a long turnaround. It's a 2 to 3 year proposition.
I'm at Mountain America Stadium on the campus of Arizona State. Your guy, Hines Ward, just signed up to be a coach here on Kenny Dillingham's staff. What do you think he will bring to the program here?
You know what? I got a chance to see him a couple of days ago, and he was just raving about these kids that he's recruiting. I think that is the true benefit. You're going to get his insight. You're going to get all the things that he's going to pour all that into these young men. But I think the really big benefit is the recruiting. I think that's what he'll be able to bring to the table. Because if I'm a wide receiver and I've got a potential Hall of Fame receiver coach who's going to be coaching me, that's a guy I'm going to listen to, right? Because I want to get to where he's been. So I think that provides a lot of value for a young receiver, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, well, that's it. I appreciate the perspective. We got to get you out here for a game. We got to go here, but I just real quick, short answer here. Where do you draft a kicker?
You draft the kicker right in the 6th to 7th round. You want to draft, and if the top one goes, then you may have to go a little early in the 5th, somewhere in there. But that's probably where you want to draft.
I love the football perspective. Love what you're doing. Hey, thanks for always having time for us here on Arizona's Family. And let us know when you're down here on the sidelines. We'd love to catch up.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The Extra Point Podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS5, and azfamily.com. in Phoenix, Arizona.